how all in am I in this relationship? And I was like, no, I'm definitely all in. How much do I love this man? A lot. Like, how much of him do I love?
Beep. Beep.
No. Are we cutting this out? Are we editing this out?
No, just keep it.
Okay. Because like just telling my friends about me and Lauren, and then like the surprising number of people that are supportive and that are just like, as long as you're happy, we're fine with it. Whatever, it's your life, live it. Like that's your thing. That's your relationship. That like you decide. Like as soon as I was able to tell them that, you know, that you didn't coerce me into it, you were like, you know, this is me. And technically, it was like if you boil it down, this is me. You can leave or you can stay. But you didn't say it like that. But you didn't say it like that. He was like, you know, take it or leave it, and then walked away and like off the mic or whatever. Like you said, like
baby,
or leave me. That was kind of it, but like at the same time,
it wasn't coming from a place like you got like get the fuck out. But it's more like
me or lose me.
It was more like it was more like I get it if you want to stay. I would love it if you get to stay. I would understand if you leave. It's not so much like I'm trying to force a decision. It's more like
you didn't give me an ultimatum.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I understand if what these because ultimately those were the two decisions.
Yeah, those were the two decisions, but you didn't
the two choices. Like,
you didn't present it as an ultimatum.
Yeah.
You weren't like so like basically the two options were pretty much uproot our relationship, like not completely uproot our relationship, but like destabilize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Destabilize it and then like possibly risk my mental health and well-being, or I can just go and take the easy way.
Yeah.
And leave.
Yeah.
But then again, I was thinking about it. I'm like, technically leaving would be easy, but not really. Because like leaving means losing you. Yeah, that shit was like thinking about it was hard. Yeah, the thought of that was like really freaking hard. And I'm like, because the thing is, like, I made the decision immediately. Like, it looked to you that I made the decision like fairly quickly, because you were just like, yeah, this is me. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
but, you know, like it was as you were talking, my mind was already going. Yeah. Like before you could even stop talking, my brain was going like, oh God. Think brain blast, insert Jimmy Neutron. And then I was like, my thought is like, how all in am I in this relationship? And I was like, no, I'm definitely all in. How much do I love this man? A lot. Like, how much of him do I love? All of him. And this is part of him. So I was just like, let's go, whatever. And I already knew the risks to my well-being. You saw most of the turmoil.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
And and the thing is, the turmoil was my problem. That was my issue. That was my mental health. That's my brain. Yeah. Like there was nothing you could do. There was nothing Lauren could do.
Yeah.
Besides being patient with me, which I appreciate from the both of you. Lauren, if you're watching, hi. And just like, was it expensive? Sure. But like if to an outsider, people are like, you spent this much money just so you can be okay with this. I was like, no, I spent this much money so I can be okay in this. I'm already in it. I'm already okay. I just want to be like okay within it.
Yeah. And then
like, there's a difference. It's one word, in or with. And I'm like, I'm already like in it and I want to be in it. I just want to be okay. I don't want to be the one that ruins it for everyone.
Yeah. And then some could argue that like some people don't invest in their own mental health and they're causing more damage in their own professional and personal relationships.
Yeah. And I'm like, I did this for myself too. Not agreeing, like it's a fucking contract, but like, yeah, that's essentially it. But like deciding to be in this still, to stay, was my decision that I made for myself too.
Yeah.
And as much as it's like, oh, I want you to be happy, like being yourself, blah, blah, blah. And I love you, but I'm like, I did this for me too, because I wanted to be with you.
Yeah.
And I want this to work with the three of us.
Essentially, like I'm just acknowledging the chat. Thank you, Mariah, for the love. I appreciate you being here. But it's interesting because I would liken it to almost like maybe for example, just to go to a health example, like someone who is, I don't know, diagnosed that they're diabetic and they have to do a massive dramatic change to their life. That
diet, exercise,
and then essentially and then you getting the senior therapist would be, I would equate that to getting a trainer who has knowledge to train the body, and maybe getting a nutritionist to help dietitian to help get them with the right foods to get for the right guidance. And then so that way they can take care of their health. And it's the very same thing here. This is a crazy dramatic life change. And you, I think, took I'd say smart, for lack of a better saying, route to mentally prepare for it, because you got like a trainer to help give you guidance or clarity, or to prepare you for what's to come or what is coming. Because again, this is because between all three of us, this is new, but we're all learning. But yeah, because and I even talked to my therapist about it. It was just to like mentally prepare myself of what's to come. And she made an interesting comment. I was like, man, you don't like you like complicating your life, don't you?
You went for the bitch in the East Coast.
That's fair. And then it's what do you call it?
You're just like, oh wait, no, there's another complication. Woo!
Complicated. It's just
like here's another.
It's one of those things that's like, if it works out in a sense where like in life allows me to enjoy this, it's like cool. Because I don't think any of us ever would have thought would be here, and I never thought I didn't think of that I would be ever polyamorous, but like this is.
But you didn't think you'd have red hair.
Or red. Then also
turning red.
Just I don't know. I haven't talked about me being polyamorous on the podcast, but yeah, I just
skated around it a little bit when we recorded it.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
so now this is it. This was the big life change that we were talking about.
Yeah, we'll probably go deeper into it later on, but just to skate around, not gonna skate around, just to glaze over it real quick. Like there were just behaviors that made me wonder if there was more. Even prior to this relationship, there was like behaviors. I was like, about wanting to create relationships with other people, more intimately than my current one. And then I didn't understand like why I was like this. I just thought I was being a cheater.
Or like your only option was to break up with this one.
Or the only option was to break up with the current one in order to pursue that one. But at the same time, I'm like, this is what we have is good. Why not both? And I feel like I've always had the mentality of like, why not both? Like obviously it's because there's not obviously it's not always going to be why not both, depending on circumstances. Why is that not an option? And then I looked it up, did more research on it. I'm like, oh, I'm polyamorous. And that makes sense why, like my previous relationship, I as much as I enjoyed her company, I still tried to talk to you. I still tried to talk to other women. And I'm like, am I just a fucking cheating bastard? And I felt like that guilt. And
you just like love.
I do. And it wasn't so much, I wasn't trying to just be physical. I was like the mental and emotional connection was like
connect.
Yeah. And I liked that. And it's probably one of the reasons I enjoy doing the podcast, because it's like, it's the conversation and the connection with you're hot. I love you.
Love you.
But yeah, that's kind of like a quick glaze over of like how I discovered this part of me, and I'm exploring it with Lauren and Max, and I'm very
with these people
like
fuckers right here
with my partners, and I'm grateful for them, and I'm grateful that they we're all learning at the same time.
Yeah.
And
because none of us have ever done this.
Yeah, and then I
thought I was monogamous for a long time. And I still have that. Like, hi, Lauren. Like, Lauren's in the chat.
Oh, hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Hi, babe.
Ging, ging.
Love you. But that's where we were trying to like. That's when, prior to even talking to you about it, I was worried, just because you always said prior, like I didn't want to share you. Or like that, yeah. or even when I jokingly said, "Oh, you want to do a threesome?" And all that's no, I don't want.
Anyway,
but yeah, like that kind of stuff, and then the impact that it would have on you—that's what I was afraid of as well. Like,
yeah, I think when we were talking about it, like at your Airbnb, and then you were like, you told me like you're one of the main concerns, worries that you had was it hurting me.
Yeah.
Like it, and then I proxy you hurting me, like, because I'm not gonna lie, yeah, it hurt a little. It hurt. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm perfect, I don't get hurt. I was like, yeah, it does, but like for how long would I let it?
Yeah.
And that's why I was just like, and then when you told me that, that's actually when I thought about, I'm like, maybe I just go to therapy a lot more. Like maybe double up on my therapy, and like, will it cost more? Yeah, but I want to do this, but I don't want to get hurt.
And then the other question too, like, what would the other cost be if you didn't do it?
Yeah.
Well, how much more would
probably would have needed much more therapy if I didn't if I didn't do it, like more down the line.
Yeah. Because like, harboring emotions, unable to talk about it, and then not exactly having a whole lot of people or friends who are polyamorous. Well, I feel like now that we're talking about like opening of ourselves up,
more and more people are like, coming at me too. I'm like,
like what? Yeah. I'm like, okay. And then obviously resources and whatnot are great. But yeah, go ahead.
And then because the other option would be to either just do it and then we'll see what, like the whole we'll see what happening, and like basically just fucking raw dogging it, and like so how like how I raw dog my naps without an alarm.
I have a very different image of when you say raw dog, so
I know. So like without like quote unquote safety net of like me, my therapist or whatever, and just not being able to communicate. Like obviously, like I kind of like how to communicate within our relationship, like me and you.
Yeah.
But like now it's just, I'm like, I wouldn't know how to communicate my feelings with both of you if it's something that I'm feeling that's about us.
Yeah.
That's about this. And I'm just like, do I let it fester and just pretend it's fine? Everything's great. We're fine. We're great. I'm totally fine with this.
Oh my God.
Or whatever. And it's just, I feel like it would hurt way more and it would just cost way more in therapy down the line. Like, how about I nip in the bud? Not completely, absolutely nip in the bud, but like at least get me like ready and like with like tools for like coping and all that. Cause this is a big like change in my life. Or whatever. Like we talked about this on the VP podcast. Lauren was on there.
Make sure you guys watch it.
Like, gang. And then it's this like super clear picture of what I thought my future was going to look like, specifically with you. And like it just like shattered and got replaced by this other kind of like blurry picture, but like slightly getting focused in or whatever. But that's still kind of jarring. It's like, bitch, I'm 31. I should at least have like clear enough picture of my future somehow, like at least one aspect of it. And I thought it was clear enough for me, like between me and you. And that was obviously just like shattered. I'm like, the fuck do I do? It really rocked for me. Obviously, like you saw it. Like it wasn't like I wasn't hiding it.
Yeah.
Every time you like brought it up, like when like early days, I was just not like I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
But I was trying to be okay. Like A, for your sake, and also B, like I need to be okay. I agreed to this.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, be okay. Find something to get excited about this. Like this could be fun. This could be great. And I'm like, get to fucking therapy. So before I even did my like first like double session, I still wasn't like ready. Like I went through so much, and to the point that like there was like an instance where I absolutely fucked up, which we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
That shit is Bruno. And I was just like, that was also like a wake up call for me. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing enough. Like, or I'm doing everything already. There's something that I put off for a long time, even before this, that I needed to do. And that was get medicated. And I wanted to like make it clear to both of you that I'm not getting medicated because of this.
Yeah.
Because then I don't want you two to think that like, shit, we drove her to drugs.
Yeah, that part worried me. I'm like, again, like everything, how it's affecting your own mental health. I'm like, I know it, you made your decision on it, but like there was a part of me of like obviously this my decision obviously affected it, and somehow I wanted to, I don't know, I felt like it was my fault in a sense.
It wasn't,
but
like I put it off for a long time. It was like highly recommended to me that I do that, and I was like, no, I don't need it. I don't need it until one night, like it just all came crashing down on me. And then it affected both of you. And I was just like, no, absolutely not. That's not going to happen again. Like, bitch, run me my prescription.
Yeah.
I was just like, I didn't want that to happen again, but also even if like we never happened, like the three of us never happened or whatever, I might have had that like breakdown like bad enough that it still affected you.
Yeah.
So it affected my relationship with you. So it didn't matter who it affected. It affected people I loved.
Yeah. It would have just what one would say delayed the inevitable. Yeah. Maybe just download the line, you would have needed it anyways.
Yeah. Like I was just I don't know. Like I also thought about it too. And I was like telling like when you and I were talking about it mostly. And I was just like, this to quote unquote fix this, like to make sure at least to take another step in this shit not happening again. This is what I'm going to do. I've exhausted every tool, every lever that I've had, and that still happened. So there's only one thing left. And that was it. And then, I mean, you've been great.
Yeah, I feel things have been well. So albeit like there's always going to be growing pains and we're all learning in the process. But I mean, what relationship doesn't go through that? Mm-hmm. As long as anyone's like willing to put in the work to try to like that's what you're doing. And I admire like you're doing what it takes to like obviously, albeit the relationship isn't everything like in your life, but you're doing what it takes to make the relationship work or to be your best self in whatever that may look like.
Yes, I do want to be my best self, especially in a relationship. Yeah, like obviously I'm never always going to be like the best me. Like you guys are going to see most of the time, like not most of the time, a lot of the times, like the quote unquote worst of me. Mm-hmm. They trust you both enough to be like vulnerable and like break down. Like that's my therapist, but I pay her.
I think to be fair to you, I think we've seen plenty of like your good sides. You're the best of you. So and I think that's one of the things that I enjoy about all of us hanging out is like we kind of like when we're all actually physically hanging out, it's like the chemistry, the support in a sense, like us, for example, like I know you just didn't like working out before.
Oh, I hated it.
And then we just because Lauren and I wanted to work out. And then obviously I didn't want you just being by yourself. And I was like, just you don't have to work out, just hang out with us. And then what do you call it?
Be around it.
Yeah, just be around it. And we encourage you to just try a couple of things. And then we discovered, or at least I saw like, fuck, you're a lot stronger than you fucking say you think you are. And then I don't know, maybe through that might have planted the seed of like doing it again, realizing, I don't know, that doing the workouts because we enjoy it, not because we're trying to achieve something out of it.
Because my day job like involves a gym. So like, I feel like I just never want to be around exercise forever.
That's fair.
And then also a lot of the people that I meet there, like obviously like us as the company, we're not promoting look like this, like, cause we're not that type of gym.
Yeah.
Like we're not a fucking Equinox or whatever. We don't like, it'll be great. Like don't look like this. It's like all health and wellness and stuff. Like we push or whatever. But like the people that I encounter there are mostly doing the aesthetic.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to look like this. I want to look like that. And I'm just like, I mean, I do too, but I like food.
The aesthetic is way harder to try to maintain rather than what you can do with the strength or do with that. Like, I don't know, like if it wasn't for all the strength training I've been doing, it's probably my injuries would probably be worse. Or even some of the extra stuff. It's a lifestyle, bro.
And as a 31-year-old trying to come out of retirement from dance, like I need the conditioning.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
that shit is exhausting.
Yeah. How did we get to our relationship? I think our relationship. But anyways, but yeah, this is where we're at. We are talking. So Mariah says there's no shame in doing what you can to take care of your own mental and psychological health, even when no one else is the inspiration behind it. Being able to be at peace with your own mind is what we all deserve. And for some of us, it is a very long journey and an endless battle. Currently on 4 antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds and 3 migraine meds. Where were we? Yes.
Chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry. Well, first off,
speaking of relationships,
and I will say it took me crying my eyes out and a whole gamut of suicide notes to help me seek help from a doctor. And I appreciate you sharing that, your story and everything. That insight right there is fucking beautiful.
For me, it was
Like,
an attempt.
Yeah,
That
it was an
took me to-
attempt.
Yeah.
Mm.
To like want to get to actually like seriously want to go like,
See a therapist. I wasn't like yay close or whatever. Like I took steps. Like I considered that an attempt.
Yeah.
I took the steps. I didn't
like no harm was done to my body yet, but
Yeah.
like I was already preparing.
Yeah, it took
yeah.
me going to jail because I had to go to therapy, and yeah, prior to that, I had a lot of like pills ready to go to just try to end things, but I had it, but I was just too scared.
Mm.
But yeah, oh my god. That's
anyway.
Okay. Let's go to water, hydrate.
Y'all.
Okay, so we're gonna switch topics on to another thing, chemistry. I shared something on my Instagram today, and I think another friend of mine shared something. I'm gonna mute my Instagram real quick. This thing I shared was, do not chase chemistry over character, because chemistry won't wake up at 3 a.m. to console you in your heaviest grief. Attraction may not choose to love you on the good days and the bad days. Sparks stop flying when life becomes riddled with reality. That was great. And then I had another friend, Lauren's Liz. She asked me, because it was a really great topic, because she was also on another podcast talking about it, but she asked me, what do you call it? What do I think, or maybe this is for everyone, what do you think chemistry is between people? What do you think is actually happening when there's chemistry, quote unquote, between people? And is it something that you either have or you don't? Or is it something that that can be developed over time? So it's like 3 questions.
Yeah.
Right there. So maybe we'll start off. What do you think is the first 2/3? What do you think is chemistry is between people? And what do you think is happening when there's chemistry?
I don't think chemistry is limited to just romantic relationships.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like you have chemistry with your friends.
Yes.
In a sense, but like I think chemistry is that spark. Chemistry is the thing that like brings you together and keeps you together for a while. Like that, like the tape, not the glue, the tape. And it's maybe the duct tape because it's a little bit more. It does a little stronger than tape, and then. But like through time, it's just like something else is going to keep you together. Like whether it's friends, like romantic partners, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Something else is going to keep it together. Like chemistry is just the thing that clicks. Or whatever. Like even between like us and like our clients with VP.
Yeah.
There's clients that we have a rapport with. I consider that chemistry. There's clients that we kind of don't have that much of a rapport with, and it's all strictly like here's payment, here's service, done. There's no chemistry there, but whatever. But like that, the thing that kept us together though was the money.
Yeah.
That was the exchange of it. So like that doesn't really apply. And I also don't think chemistry is limited to a physical meeting in the first place. Because like,
literally, I met both you and Lauren. I met both of you online.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I met you on MySpace. I met her on a Zoom meeting.
Yeah. You didn't meet her? Oh no, she wasn't part of Temper Tantrum yet. Dang.
There was like a Zoom meeting, or was it a Temper Tantrum
podcast
part of
yeah.
that I was also in.
Yeah.
And that's like literally my first experience of Lauren.
Yeah. Damn. Online.
I didn't physically meet her until summer.
Oh my God,
online.
you're right. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Like that chemistry isn't just a romantic. Like I think when people think chemistry, they're probably thinking about the goody like feelings of the attraction. Like it's so easy to talk to them. They get me.
In Filipino, it's kilig.
Kilig?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like that giddy butterflies in stomach-ish kind of feeling, but like the spark.
I think yeah, and I think that's one level of chemistry. Maybe the beginning stages of chemistry of like how maybe it's just really good conversation. I also think that chemistry, and my response to it is like chemistry isn't just like maybe like how you can talk and then how easy it is to talk, like have to converse. What I think is happening in chemistry, I'm trying to read my notes, is like obviously like similar values, like similar levels of reciprocity, like same energy levels of like how we banter, how of energy. It would just be hard of like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, good. That'd be hard.
Because I am like that with certain people that I don't have chemistry with. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
Hi.
And then it's also, similar interests, values, and all that stuff. And it's not just like the attraction, but it's also like how well, because in a relationship, I view it as kind of being in a team. It's like, how well can we work together in what do you call it? In breakdown, or for example, when at the Airbnb when we broke the bed and we instantly worked together to try to make it work. So, but
exposed.
But like,
No, it was broken to begin with.
It was broke, yeah. But how well can we work together in a breakdown? How well can we work together in a project or whatever? Because understanding like who can shift to being leader, to being a role player, and then I liken to that in terms of basketball teams or like teams with bad chemistry. It shows that they're at the bottom of the ranks. Teams with great chemistry, they'll figure it out through the hardship and difficulty. They'll get over their own individual agendas, or maybe somehow fit their agendas to the bigger goal, and they'll make it work, and they'll still perform at a high level and still be supportive of each other despite the hardships. And teams with okay chemistry, they're right in the middle. They're like, in terms of top 8, top 10 standings, they're right in the middle. They're doing okay, but just enough to
make it to the playoffs.
To make it through the playoffs. But
Clippers are making.
But that doesn't mean that they're like that they're stuck there. They're one move away to potentially becoming a number one in terms of that, because all it takes is, I don't know, someone better, obviously, communication and the right, I don't know, I'm not going to go into technicalities of a star player, but it goes into like how well can they work together in problem solving, in not just the fun parts of the relationship. So I think,
and like knowing like the leadership skills and when to step up.
Yes.
And then be the leader.
Yeah. And I think it's, and I guess in the romantic sense, I guess it also depends on the values of the person, because I guess we'll go into the second part. Is it something that you have or you don't, or is it something that can be developed over time? I think it was I'll start. I think it's, again, in a romantic sense, I think it depends on the individuals and their values.
Yeah.
Because there's way too many variables to make a blanket statement.
Yeah.
There's stories of people, sparks fly, and then the relationship is shit a month after.
Sure.
Then there's like some other outliers where the first date is shit, but it becomes like they end up being happily married. So it's like, I don't think it's either or. It depends. It's
to bring it closer to home, like with you, I think there was an initial attraction, but like when I first started talking, and I didn't really feel like actual like chemistry until we started talking. I didn't feel the desire to date you until we started talking a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Like
because I was just like, yeah, he's cute.
You were standoffish on our first messages on MySpace. That was definitely like, no sparks flying or chemistry, quote unquote, until we let it marinate for a bit, and we actually started going, like trying to go into that level of curiosity towards one another.
Yeah. Like I didn't start flirting back until like I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's what do you call it? Yeah. I think that's it. I don't think it's a either. I think
it can be developed over time. Sometimes it's just there.
Yeah. And then it goes back into like, depending on the individual, of how much effort are they willing to put in that being a team player, in terms of like giving their best to this relationship, so that way they can develop that chemistry. Albeit if it's a shitty, toxic relationship, get out. Don't try to be a team player for someone who is just manipulating you. But if it's two people that genuinely love each other, they're trying, like, obviously they're going to do what it takes to try to be a great team in a sense. And then couples therapy is one of those options. Sometimes we need a coach, or we need an outside opinion. Yeah. But I definitely think it's something that can be developed over time. It just depends on the people, if you're willing to put in your effort or their effort to participate, because it takes two to tango.
Or sometimes more.
Or more. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything you want to talk more about on that?
There was also that, like, what did you say? I think, what was the full thing on Instagram they posted? Do you still have it up?
Oh,
Should
let me.
pull up.
What do you call it? The story?
Yeah.
Which one?
The one about chemistry.
Oh no, there's nothing else. Oh
No, I want to like there's something that like stood out to me.
Oh, because chemistry won't wake up at 3 a.m. to console you in your heaviest grief.
Yeah, so there's that. I like that like wake up call, like breakdown night that I had. As mad as you were at me for that, as shitty that night was, as shitty I made the like as shitty the night went because of me for you, and then you weren't happy about it. You weren't happy about it. You stayed on the phone with me to help me write it out. I'm like, this guy could have just hung up and like let me like deal with it on my own. You stayed on. You weren't happy about it, but like you were there, and I like appreciated that a little bit. But like you were mad at me, but I also sad about it. But I was just like, no one else would have done that for me.
That's the thing.
So, like everyone else would have just left me alone. They're like, you ruined my night with your shitty mental illness, so go away. Like deal with it on your own.
What do you call it? That's the thing, like with the right thing, quote unquote, it's never going to be convenient. So, and then obviously like you being my partner, I'm not just going to fucking leave you. And that's like the worst fucking thing to do.
It's happened to me. So I wasn't expecting you to do that for me.
Yeah. And then
I expected you to just be like, okay, deal with it on your own, busy.
Yeah. Yeah. But to me, it just made sense to be there. As difficult as it was for me, I felt like had I done that, it would be really coming from selfishness and ego if I had left you alone. And that's the thing, I guess, that's love, though, in a sense. If the person you care about is down, you want to lift them back up. And it's not always going to be fun. And I hate that I feel this kind of, not comparison, but like weird awareness to it of like, when I watch some of these movies and there's this heated passion in these relationships, I'm like, man, that looks fun. But then you think, then I go beyond that. I was like, what's beyond that? And then it's like, because there's the real relationship, not just the fiery passion, because that's fun. And obviously, I think my goal with the relationships that and thankfully, like you and I've been dating for a while, like, I think I'm still insanely attracted to you.
You think? I'm kidding.
I think, and then I think it's, I don't know. I just found like a weird frustration with it, that it felt that it was unreal. There's no way this fiery passion, maybe I'm just jaded, that can last. But then again, there are people that make it last. And then I don't know.
But they're doing the work to make it last.
Because they're doing the work. I think it's like they're I don't know.
That's the thing about like movies. It's like, oh yeah, there's this passion, like it kind of just happened because chemistry, which is great. What happens after the honeymoon phase?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's go with Mariah said. Chemistry is a mixture of compatibility in a few different areas, in her honest opinion. These being values, visual appeal, common interests, hobbies, and sexual compatibility. Ooh, sexual compatibility. That's a great one. Similar life goals and desires. Choking. Okay. For someone to be a life partner with good chemistry, they have to have what is necessary for a great lifelong friendship and a great one night stand. A great way of putting it.
Great points.
One thing that we didn't touch on is sexual compatibility. Yeah. Like I would like to say I have a pretty good sexual drive. I think I can, if I may speak on behalf of all of us, we all do.
Do we?
But
no, also, I'm a straight up prude, bro.
But like,
says the bitch in the see-through
also,
shirt.
Like that's the thing that with I want to say with my ex-fiance, like we had very different sexual drives. So which made it a little hard. And I think that's one of the reasons, like when I was single, I would like having sex, like not soon, like right the second, but like
Romeo, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Like,
nice to meet you.
But like maybe like third, if we don't have sex, maybe after the third or fourth date, I probably would leave. Probably because this is assuming that
there would be no fourth date.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, probably because the sexual compatibility part is important to me, because I feel like I can simultaneously have that while also building a friendship. Yeah, because to me that was just important, because if we, like, for some example, like someone like shouts out and respect to everyone who's waited till marriage. But say you marry your partner and they have very different sexual drives, that might be
And
a
then
little
you're married to them.
yeah, and then that might be a little tricky. I can see that's how some people try to make it work. I would like to say that sex is part of the package in terms of relationships.
If you're
So
a sexual person,
that's right. If you're a sexual person.
or
So-
aces out there, shout out.
So any of the aces, yeah, that might be completely different for you. And yeah.
I've been accused by some female cohorts and former friends or whatever that quote unquote put up too fast. I'm like, is it putting out if I want to? Is it putting out if I'm the one initiating it? Or is it them putting out? I'm just like, I mean, whatever. Like, is it such a hard concept to wrap your head around that, like, maybe someone who doesn't have a penis also wants sex?
That's like the being letting go of
Cultural,
beyond of the
societal,
the societal
gender
norms
norm.
of
Only
guys.
men want sex.
yes. And I think
Absolutely not.
and I appreciate it when I guess when girls that are friends of mine are comfortable talking about it like dudes, because I'm like
This is a
this
perfectly
whole
natural thing for
like,
sexual
for sexual people. Like when I was first around, I was like, wait, what? You're not what this image of what was presented to me as a kid. Like you guys,
like,
and
but
then
you're
I'm
a
like,
girl.
and then just talking about it casually. I think that's a healthy thing to do to talk. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Let's talk about. Obviously, you don't want to go into details of it if you don't want to, but say like, yes, I'm active. Like I am, whatever, or not. Yeah. I just find that I don't know. Maybe I just really appreciate the openness that like my friends are willing to talk about it. The jar is only full. So from going to the chat real quick, Mariah is saying the jar is only full when everything is contributed together in the right time, in the right order of importance. Technically, it is putting out, but it's your body, and you can do whatever the hell you want with it. Hell yes.
Because because there's the idea of the phrase "putting out," which is you gave it up. Like they conquered you.
Oh God.
I don't get conquered. I am the conqueror. I am Kang the Conqueror.
God damn it, Lauren's on the chat saying you're not a virgin.
I'm sorry. Did I? Oh no.
Here's one thing that
I can't be a superhero.
What do you call it? Mariah brought something interesting, and then we had talked about it as well, like the whole relationship escalator of if I remember correctly, I'm trying to skim through the thing. I read it a while back. Excuse me. I think it's like the progress of the normal, like I don't know, courtship, dating, relationship, I don't know, going into like engagement, moving in together, married, like that kind of part of the relationship. And then I think that's something we're like, for us, like we're trying to get, I guess, let go of the steps, quote unquote, or the different phases of the relationship.
Like getting to this, getting to that, you know.
Yeah, because it'll be like our phase in the relationship was very different with me and Lauren's phase in the relationship, and trying to adjust accordingly, or like, and trying to be like, I don't know. I do know what I want to say, but I also want to make sure that I'm like sensitive to what I'm sharing. But yeah, like the idea of the right order of importance. Like if that sounds like you wait until you eat and have your dinner first before you eat your dessert. Why not start with dessert?
Dessert first, motherfucker.
Oh my God. The extreme kind of quote unquote crazy example, maybe let's get married first and then become friends.
Yeah. Oh, the proposal?
Yeah. The proposal. Yeah.
They got married so they can date.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Shit.
No, thinking of dessert first. Like I was also told that there was one failed relationship that I had, and I think that I opened up to a friend, and she asked me like, "So did you guys have sex before or after you guys started dating?" I was like, "Before, probably. I think we had sex. Like we thought about dating after the third time we slept together." And then there's like, "Well, that's the problem." I'm like, "Why is that a problem?"
You're not establishing the friendship first.
We established a friendship 3 times.
See, and that's where it's like
multiple times each time.
and that's the thing where it's like one has different starting points or values of where they want to be or in the relationship.
And also, like again, like most of the time I establish a connection with people that I'm basically already friends with, like at some level, before I even like try to sleep with them. So like there was already a connection established.
Yeah.
Just wanted to fuck them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, shut up.
See, and then I think as like a lot of information is being shared as we like progress in humanity, though it feels like we're going backwards in a sense. And in terms of self-awareness and where we're trying to be is in terms of taking care of ourselves, of our humanity and our worth, we're kind of forward in my opinion. But it shows that there is no real right or wrong way. Everyone has their own starting point. Everyone is fluid. There's no
gender fluid.
There's no like you have to start at here or here. Like, tell that to the people who like, I'm about to go, who started with privilege, trying to tell us how to get to where they're at.
Cam?
And then it's everyone has different starting points. And it's like, I think we should be more mindful of what we try to prescribe for other people and assume that it's the only way. And I think it's been the biggest mistake is for a lot of people is assuming what works for me works for others. And it may, but it also may not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go around and tell people sleep with them first. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
This is what I did. That may not work for you. You may not even be comfortable doing it. If you're not comfortable doing it, then don't.
Yeah. And then everyone has their own, I like to call it their own individualized curriculum to figure out what their life is. Yeah. It's so frustrating because figuring out life is a constant unfolding and it's never
appetizers to dessert.
Yeah.
And then I get the main course.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what Mariah's sharing, sex isn't a contract, a baby isn't a contract, marriage isn't a contract anymore. And people who have agendas people have agendas and will do what they want. If their agenda doesn't match yours, you can't make them stay. So bye, Felicia. Lost my train of thought. Let people do
Let people do what the fuck they want, man.
Or live their life. Don't prescribe things for other people. Yada, yada. I'm trying to run through like my Rolodex of thoughts. But I think we got to that point there of, we can't assume that our way is the only way.
Yeah.
So, this podcast is like a 2.5 hour podcast.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be like 3 episodes.
3 episodes. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because we can save the other ones for another time.
That's true. We'll talk about Kanye and Kim later.
Yeah. Oh, man. The main reason I was talking. That was it. And then there's a thing I shared on my Instagram.
Oh, that your thing's owning you.
Do you things on you, or I feel like that's another heavy philosophical topic that I want to say for another time.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to like ponder on it a little bit more so I can have more talking points. What do you call it? Mariah says, spend your whole life figuring yourself out, thinking who you are, and it can change in a day, in an hour. You're right. On that, I discovered I was polyamorous at the ripe old age of 35. But you know what? And I was engaged, thought I was going to be married, I hit a lot of checkpoints in life that I thought I was supposed to be at. I had a very good paying job, 45 an hour, like that at 2011 or 12 or 13, which is pretty good at that time. I think it's still good now, but
it's good enough now.
Yes. And then I thought I was supposed to have, the order was changed. Like I had a kid and then I was engaged. Those things didn't work out. And the traditional family didn't work out. And it's at this point, like, what else has life going to show me about myself? I don't know, because sometimes there's what we want probably is replaced with something that we need.
Yeah.
And if we, I don't know, I feel like if we don't acknowledge it, we're bound to trap ourselves in our own development as a person.
Because like
before you and I like reconnected, like before you even like DM'd me back in like late 2016 or whatever.
DMs you right now.
Shut up.
what was it? Like I was basically like, technically I was this close to accepting the fact that I might be stuck here. That I'm going to settle down and be with someone here.
Jersey girl for life.
That says the one with the ponytail. Your ponytail.
Don't fucking talk to me.
But yeah, like I thought I was just gonna live here and whatever. And then you DM me, and like obviously I wasn't like, it's not like, oh, there could be a possibility. Like obviously I was with somebody.
Yeah.
And then we started like reconnecting. We started talking more, and we did the thing where we talked till like 3 a.m. again.
Yeah.
3 a.m. your time, so 6 a.m. my time, and I would watch the sunrise.
Oh yeah.
And, like I was like freaking 18 again.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then it wasn't until we actually like met up in New York again.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh shit, I'm still in love. I was just like, fuck you. No, we're gonna play this video now. I'm kidding.
No, one day.
But I was just like, shit. Now what do I do? And then we were talking about this like earlier. You thought I had a good thing going.
Yeah.
You thought I had a good thing because it looked like it was a good thing going. At that point for me, it wasn't that good anymore. I could have cut my losses a lot earlier and like been with you a lot earlier, but I tried.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, we'll really have a choice to make now. And I think it's clear.
So it was a choice.
Yeah, it was a choice. Oh my God. No.
But yeah, I'm like, that's just it. I made the choice.
And that completely changed my life. And I also, and then literally New Year's Eve, I made another choice that changed my life. Because being here, still being here was my choice. Like you deciding to explore was your choice.
Yeah.
This is a part of you. This is you. But exploring that end is your choice.
Yeah.
To do that. And you made that choice. You presented me with a different choice, with some options, and I made my choice.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yay. Oh man, it's yeah. Definitely one hell of a 2022.
Yeah.
But I think
What if you told me on my birthday?
Oh no, I was waiting to do it after your birthday because I wasn't about to like let this be
my birthday present?
I wasn't about to let this ruminate and have it be on your mind while we're supposed to be celebrating your birthday. You know what I mean? Because that would have been, I feel like that would be just like, I don't know. That just would have been selfish. Y'all make your life sound like Jumanji. How many what?
No, I said Robin Williams. R.I.P.
I mean,
I don't know. Like, I forgot what I was saying. It's midnight.
Yeah.
No, it's 1 a.m.
It's 1 a.m. It's like, yeah.
It's not that late.
Two and a half.
It's not that late for me.
I
go to bed at 3.
Okay. So that's it. Maybe we can talk about the other ones next time. And we have a couple podcasts. So you want to wrap it up here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it, everyone. That's the show. I appreciate y'all for watching.